Okay, good. Good to go.
Um, Now, I have a lot of commonality with you guys because I am thinking being and I'm critical thinker, or I try to be a critical thinker.
Good.
And in the beginning, when we chat, I said one of the verses that I love in the Bible, though I think there are a lot of verses I have big problem with that. But this verse says, accept the truth so that truth will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that in that one we'll have the same intention. But what I found that people with vested interest, when they have vested interest, they have problem with accepting truth. Once I had in my life, when I was a best-selling author in Turkey, when I found out that the Sunni religion I was promoting in my books, and in a very young age, and ended up in prison because of that, did not make sense. I was for theocratic regime. I wanted to make revolution in Turkey like Iran, just after Iranian revolution.
Wow.
I was a leading youth leader, and now my former friends right now ruling the country. Tayyip Erdogan and Davutoglu, these are my former friends from school and from the organization. But I became radioactive. I had to escape here. I was considered apostate, and my father rejected. And therefore, we have commonality.
Mm-hmm.
Commonality is this: you are in minority, and I am heretic because I express my ideas. It doesn't mean I am right because I am against the crowd. Sometimes people against crowd, they could be wrong too.
Absolutely.
But at least I find myself, there is in me search for truth. And I see many atheists in that regard more honest than many religious people. Some religious, I think most of the people who are in religion, they are just joining a bandwagon.
That's
Faith is euphemism to join in the crowdest or the loudest or the most beneficial bandwagon.
Richest,
Exactly.
yes.
Could be many. There are social reasons and a lot of reasons, psychological reasons people join a crowd. Therefore, majority of people born in the United States, they become Christian, in India Hindu, in Saudi Arabia Muslim. What geography has to do with the truth and different truths?
Right.
Yeah, there is a problem there. I agree with you. And also I empathize with atheists. Turkish atheists, for example, I participated discussion with them in their forums. They were very happy as a author who translated the Quran into 2 languages, to Turkish and English. I have English translation of the Quran, a reformist translation, that was able to take on a debate, rational debate with atheists. And also I invited them for a TV interview on Turkish TV. I had debate with top religious clerics. And in fact, the recent one was the former religious affairs, head of religious affairs, Professor Dr. Suleiman Atesh. He escaped from the studio 2-3 times. It was live TV debate. Millions of Turkish people saw how incompetent he was in his arguments. And he could not look in my eye like you do. He was scared. He was intimidated by follow-up questions. Now, and I asked them, I said, you are an oppressed minority in Turkey because an atheist, you cannot really go in public much. They are scared of being harassed or being even hurt. And you are here in the United States, you are standing against falsehood, I believe. And I think, let me say something, you may like it and may not like it.
Okay, go for it.
You are, as an atheist, closer to God than almost 99% of the religious people. I say 1%, I don't want to make everyone angry with me. Okay? The reason
Define
is,
God.
Let me say, okay. I will. The reason is because you are not fabricating lies about God. When I see all the religions fabricate the silly stories, the most absurd stories about God, and they ask people to believe it on faith, and they are proud of that. And I can't believe these people, if they tell a fraction of that story about their friends, they will question. Kind of, not extraordinary story, a little story.
Yep.
And that little bit kind of counterintuitive or against their experience, they will say, what is your evidence? Show me, witnesses. Even sometimes witnesses will not be enough if it's too extraordinary.
Right.
And therefore the atheists or skeptics, maxim that say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence,
Right.
which I subscribe to that. And therefore, the religious people I see far away from God because they claim that God is schizophrenic. Because the God, if created the universe, and we see universe is rational, means through our reason we can understand. Like Einstein said, the most mind-boggling thing is universe intelligible. We can understand. We can study and understand. And there are laws, deterministic laws. When we study, when we question, the more we learn. The more we learn, we create technology, like aeroplane, like light, correct? And computer and many air conditioner. And therefore this God, if there is God, creator of the universe, rewarding us because we ask questions. Scientists basically asking questions about the universe.
Okay.
The more wise and hows, they are rewarded. If it is the same God who sent messengers and books, that God should also promote in churches and mosques, if they are divine places, then questioning should be the modus operandi of learning. Questioning and suspecting and testing, correct? But
Yeah.
they do just the opposite. They say no. The God created the universe, but when you come to our churches, you freeze your thinking capability. You open a hole, a zone, which is called for belief. We can put any Trojan horses, any viruses there. You swallow it without question.
That's right. And when you question it, when somebody questions it, the response is visceral. The response is extreme. After we film this, I'm going to Harrisburg to protest about a mayor who is doing exactly what you're talking about. The mayor of the city of Harrisburg is incompetent, and the city of Harrisburg is about to go into bankruptcy. So she is leading prayer and fasting so that God, who somehow communicates with her through prayer and fasting, will save the city from bankruptcy. And when I go on and I tell people that, you know what, she's using religion for her own political gain. It goes into that part of the brain. And they hate it. It doesn't matter that it's obvious. It doesn't matter that it's really plain to see. They don't see it. I'm an atheist. I'm bad. She's a Christian. She's good. I trust her because she's a Christian, even though it's her job to keep the city balanced. The city's not balanced. And she's had plenty of warning and she's had plenty of knowledge to do it, but she hasn't had the ability to bring it to fruition. So these are intelligent people. They're not stupid, but when it comes to religion, they are stupid.
They become children.
Yes.
Children who kind of believe in Santa Claus story. I do agree with you. And it reminds me, you must remember the name of American physicist who said there are good, I'm paraphrasing not exactly, I think in 1999 he made this statement, which I like it, but I think it requires a modification. There are good people and bad people, but in order to turn a good person into bad person, it requires religion.
Christopher Hitchens.
Christopher Hitchens? Okay.
Yes.
He was a physicist?
No, he's a philosopher. He's a writer.
No, I think this was physicist. Maybe he repeated that one. He quoted that one. It was originally by an American physicist. I forgot his name. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is. I want to change the word religion with dogmas because it could be ideological dogmas. It could be even atheism, because we have seen Stalin or Pol Pot. They were atheists, avowed atheists,
Absolutely.
and they killed people too because ideology dogmas. Therefore, not necessarily religion. It could be nationalism also too, and therefore, any unquestioned statements of belief system can cause problem for humanity, for individual. Correct? You agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't put religion and Stalin and Pol Pot in this. I don't put like Hitler and Stalin in the same place. In as much as one used religion and the other used ideology, it's not so much religion that is the problem; it's how it's used.
Okay.
Okay. And you know, the certain people, certain religious leaders like Hitler used religion. That doesn't necessarily make religion bad. Stalin used nationalism. That doesn't make nationalism bad. It's how it's used and how well or how poorly it's used and how poorly it's protected.
Okay, here is my question for you.
Sure.
I see atheists sometimes making this false argument to discuss some religious ideas.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
If you're going to start a question.